back to Regular Guys Outdoors. I'm Chris.
And I'm Eric. Today we'll be doing some reviews of some 22 youth model rifles. Here's my son's little Rossi break action 22. It came as a matched pair. It came with this 410 barrel. Both shoot pretty well. He's a pretty good shot with it. Be looking for a review on this Rossi 410 in the near future. Here's also my son's little Savage Rascals, little bolt action. Cool little gun. And here is my CZ 452 Scout, aka my precious.
This here's a Henry Youth Model carbine. I got the extra length on here because my son kind of grew out of the short butt stock. And a Crickett bolt action single shot.
Length of pull and weight are for manufacturer specs.
Trigger pulls will be measured with this gauge.
Let's see how they lay out. Okay, here's our test ammunition for today's 22 long rifle youth model review. We have our Winchester hollow points, 36 grain. We have our CCI hollow points at 36 grain. We have our Federal match ammo at 40 grains, solid. And then we have our Remington 22 golden bullet. It's a solid at 40 grains.
For accuracy testing, we shot 3-round groups with each of our test ammunition.
Our iron-sighted rifles are shot at 25 yards, and then our scope rifles were shot at 50. Here's how it panned out. Alright, well here's our personal take on these guns. Some of the pros and cons. We've got the Rossi here, the break action. Some of the pros is nice size gun. I mean, an adult can pull it off, take it with a nice pack rifle. Length of pull is pretty good for an adult and a kid. I mean, it's got a little weight to it, so it's not overly light. You don't feel like you got a toy. It breaks down. You can put it in a pack. I mean, a great little survival small game rifle. Some of the cons for me is that I don't like the hammer. It's a little heavy. It could slip out of a child's thumb, you know. Fiber optic sights. I mean, some people like them, some people don't. I think they're kind of cool, but the only thing that these on this particular rifle are somewhat chancy. You snag them on a limb or something, I feel like this one right here will break off, and then you're kind of screwed in the middle of nowhere if you guys want to use it for a survival rifle. Triggers okay, shot okay.
This little rascal right here, first off, it shot great. It shot really good with most of the ammo we used. A couple of the cons: it's got a really short length of pull, and there's no real way to compensate for that. A lot of pros here. It's got an Accu trigger. It's a very nice trigger, very well thought out. The sights: it's got a nice set of aperture rear with a almost a bead front. Scope mounts. But one of the best things about this guy is when you take a round, it's a single shot, so you drop it in, you can just close it up, and there's a feed ramp in there that just feeds it right on in, makes it really easy to work. The safety right here works just like most of the Savage and Marlin style rimfire bolt guns. This little guy is a great little dude.
And we got my personal rifle here, my CZ 452 Scout. I mean, it's probably the best shooting 22 rifle I've ever owned. Beautiful walnut stock. Comes with iron sights. Got this cool little crown at the end there. It's not my particular choice of scopes on it. I just kind of got it on there just for just for the size of it, so it kind of matches small rifle. I mean, the length of pull is good for me. I mean, great small game rifle. I mean, it's hard to miss with these CZs. I mean, 4-pound trigger, but it's so crisp that it doesn't feel like a 4-pound trigger. I mean, this shot the best out of all the rifles on the table today. If I ever lost this, I would definitely go buy another one. Got a 10-round magazine. You can get a 5-round magazine, or you can just get it's kind of a false magazine that goes in there, just acts as a feed tray. But great action, great rifle. I mean, just smooth. Just it's a little expensive, but you get what you pay for.
This is my son's Henry, and what's great about this, it's got a nice smooth action, plus it's a lever action. Who doesn't love those, right? It's pretty accurate with the right ammo. Sometimes it doesn't always like every bit of ammo, but that's why you test them. The trigger pull's light. It's got a little creep in it, but perfectly manageable. It's hefty. It is not a light rifle. It is definitely not like the Crickett. The length of pull on it might be a little long for a small child. But as he grew up, we put this recoil pad on to give it another inch or so length of pull now that he's full grown. And overall, this is a pretty nice rifle. Not CZ accurate, but pretty accurate with the right stuff. The iron sights that come with it, they are definitely a con. I don't like them. It's almost like looking down a pistol. They're really wide front sight, so that's why eventually we moved to a scope.
Then lastly here we have the little, you probably recognize it as a Crickett. It's pink, so it's probably Chris's, but it's Chris's daughter's. I like the peep sights. They're really good sights on this gun. One of the cons, it didn't have a feed tray. It was a little meticulous getting around in there. Length of pull is even good for an adult to, where the Rascal length of pull is too short. This Crickett, I mean, an adult can pull it off. But one of the cons I don't like particularly is the pull pot, the pull cocking mechanism. Don't much care for that. The extractor didn't want to work as great today, but we got it to work with some oil and run a snake down a barrel. The trigger, it was an okay trigger, I mean, but it kind of builds up. It's kind of a wavy trigger, if you know what I mean. It's okay, but definitely not the best. It's definitely probably the least on the table.
And this concludes our review.
Thanks for watching.